So when I first started real estate, I always had this issue where like I'm commingling a bunch of funds. Like I couldn't even figure out what my personal expenses are and which ones are actually for a project or which ones are actually for the business, right? Because
Okay.
that's what most real estate investors kind of is an issue. And come to find out, everybody has this issue, and especially contractors, because all they do is like, a lot of them are cash, first of all, and then Zells and stuff like that. And they're so messy. They're not even like, well organized. So what happens is that like they wait until end of the year, 2021, 2022, 2023, 24, 25, now 26. And a lot of them still haven't filed taxes or still haven't cleaned up.
Yeah.
So our
Yep.
goal is for you to be clean on day zero. So once you're into our system, like our agents, right? We call it our AI agents, will clean up all you have and it'll ask you questions and understand what you do because we have your documents. We have your invoices, we have your receipts, we have the documentation and the data from your bank. What kinds of transactions is this? How did you get this transaction? Well, okay, you may deposited something, but then once we start learning and start asking what it is that you do, right? We're able to know, okay, how do we categorize this? Is this an income? Every time you deposit, every week or every few days or once a month, there's always some kind of behavior that we detect like okay, this must be income coming from your service. And then every time you're spending this or you're having groceries, right? Well, this is your cost to do your business basically. So
Okay. Makes sense.
it becomes an what do you call it, an
Autopilot.
autopilot. Like you'll have inventory. Obviously when you buy groceries, you don't make money right away. So you take time to basically create, the product, right? So you have to create the
Hmm.
product, you get inventory, you get a bunch of things from groceries, you create the product, then you sell. So that's when you capitalize and realize the that expense, and then you sold and then you created income from that.
Okay. Yeah. So I get you saying. So what in a nutshell, what you're saying is it learns the behavior. And once it
Correct.
learns your behavior, it's like, okay, I've seen this before. So this must be this. Yep. That makes total sense.
With QuickBooks, it learns a little bit where like, okay, but it'll auto categorize a few things. But for us, we take all of your receipts so you don't have to create your own mental spreadsheet of like
Hmm.
which ones are like business expense, which ones are personal. Hopefully you don't commingle like that. But I'm
No,
guessing you've
I
been
know.
around for a bit.
Yeah, I don't. Now, if it's something I call it like very minute, like if I'm going to the store to buy groceries for an event or for the business,
Hmm.
and I just so happen to pick up something for the house, you know, and then I don't separate it, you know what I'm saying? But that's
Yeah,
not like I'm not going to the house. I mean, I'm not going to the grocery store for the house and then buying all the groceries for the house and all the stuff for the business. No,
got
every
it,
now
got
and
it.
then
Yeah,
it does get intermingled every now and then. Like I may
yeah,
buy
but that's
five to ten
that's
things for the
yeah.
house or five to ten things for the business while I'm shopping for another situation. But for the most part, when I'm shopping for the business, it's separate.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Got it. So
99% of the time.
my suggestion for that is get two transactions. One is for your personal and one is for the business, even if you only have a business card, right? So the cleanest way to do it is like you have a personal card to pay for your personal things, and then you have a business card to pay for your
Pay for yours.
business things.
And I do
Even,
have them
yeah,
separated. Yeah, I do have a card for. Well, I have a couple business cards, and then I do have my own personal uh account. Yeah, so that's it's not a. It's just something that you got to mentally get in the mindset of doing it and not
yeah.
intermingling at all. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about the behavior and how you do it. So it's easy for us to help you. Now you can still manually do these things, but the problem is manual stuff, you're spending, like I think if you use QuickBooks and you don't use bookkeepers or you don't use our system, it'll take you like maybe depending on how many transactions you have. So a lot of people, 2 to 5 hours a week, they'll spend it on like
Yeah.
make sure their books
Hmm.
are good. And then if they have a lot of transactions, then they may end up hiring a bookkeeper, which is very expensive. I think 250 to $500 a month, right?
Yeah.
And then the QuickBooks is like 100 to $200 a month, but you're limited on one entity. So for us, actually, we have unlimited entities as well.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second, Kels. Let me tell you, my guy is here to check on my truck. And then guess what today? It didn't squeal this morning when I got it cranked up and went to the gas station. So it's in there though. Make sure, yeah. So it squealed because it was really cold. I don't, but it was doing every. Here, you can have this in there, so just in case. But the thing is underneath it. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm back. The guy coming to check my truck out. But yeah, 100%. It does take. Cause see, some weeks I have like I may go shopping 2 or 3 times a day. And what I mean
Hmm.
by that is because I have this app that tells me where things are on sale and everything like that. So I go to different stores based on sale. So that may be 3 different grocery stores I go to that day. And sometimes it's like that. I may do that 2 or 3 times a week. You see what I'm saying? So think about 3 times 3, that's about 15 receipts.
Yeah.
20, 15 receipts that I have just for those type of things. And then if I have an event, a big time catering event, then I'm gonna order stuff on Amazon. And so then that's another thing. So yeah, it could be, sometimes 12 to 20 receipts in a week.
Yep. So for us, what how it usually works for before is that like you would have your bank statements and then you would have all of your receipts, right, on one side, and then you'll create a spreadsheet in the middle where you're matching everything. Make sure that you're categorized. You have to know what categories you're using for your business, right? Because this is like cost of goods, inventory costs, or something like that. So
Hmm.
depending on what type of business you run, you have your own different kinds of codes for your
Okay.
expense, right?
Yeah.
So so you can set that up. We actually have a template for depending on what business you run. So for real estate, we have different ones. We have work in progress, like inventory, rental property assets, labor, materials, stuff like that. So we have our really, really you know, it's very actually it's very complicated. That's why they hire bookkeepers and stuff for real estate because it becomes uh, a mess because there's different codes for people that are flipping, different codes for people when you refi and then turn that into a rental, and there's different codes for when you also sell. You have to put it as cost of goods sold and stuff like that. Oh, we got Christina here. So I'm gonna. Is everything okay, Christina? Can you hear me? But to for yours kind, we actually create a template of categories for you so that we know how your how your business behaves, so that you actually don't have to create your own categories. We just want to make sure that you're clean, right? But you can always add your own categories and stuff like that of like, hey, I want more of a breakdown. I really want to dig down how much chicken I spent, right? Versus
Okay.
beef,
Yeah.
right? or or materials I spent. But really, it's like it's all on like one. It's basically the cost of inventory, what you have, right? How, and then income. Okay, I want to break down my sales income versus I might have taught somebody how to cook, right? So,
Hmm.
so the consulting income or something like that. But really, if it's all in one entity and it's an LLC, it doesn't really matter. They're all going to be um marked as income anyway. All, you just want to make sure that you're categorizing them. So when you pull up your ledger, so the ledger is different, right? So these are bank transactions, these are your receipts, and then when you clean it up and then categorizing it correctly and then make sure that everything's good, then that is the ledger. That is the true source of like, what happened in your business. Because
Okay.
you may add something there like, oh crap, I totally forgot. Like where did I go here that I went somewhere? Kel got something for me. I refunded him. I can't find it here. So you're gonna have to add another manual transaction. You have to code it, even though you don't have a bank transaction to prove it. You may not have a doc to prove it, but you still need to make sure that you put that somewhere. Hey, I spent this, but can't remember what, but
Yeah.
I know I
Okay.
did. So, and then when that ledger is created, that's when you pull your balance sheet, your P&L, your cash flow statement, whatever it is that you'd like to look at, cost of marketing, because then we're able to, the more you categorize them and the more insight you have to your business. All right, this is how much marketing I spent and how much that turned out, right? Because I spent, $500 this month and I got two new customers. So that's how you start learning, right? When you have a ledger like that and start, your costs, right? Cost of
Okay.
business, and then did it increase the profits when you spent marketing and stuff like that?